Hello and welcome, my name is Alex and it's time for another FPL video, and this is exciting because I'm playing my wildcard early. I've seen enough, I had enough of my team, and apparently Nuri isn't available for the game, which is the final blow, and I realized that I cannot really fix my team with one transfer with -4, and I really don't want to have Villa players, and the Brighton team is all over the place. So I think a little bit of a shake-up is needed, so I'm using my tablet right now, and I'm gonna be getting rid of my players. I'm not necessarily gonna be focused on the data, I'm just gonna be getting rid of my players and putting in the players that most likely with like 90% certainty will be in my team tomorrow. So the wildcard build will be activated today, so that just in case there are some price changes, I will be able to catch them. And realistically, I really like my wildcard because every player, it's just like a bench boostable wildcard. I can bench boost like next week in 2 game weeks. Every player is almost nailed starter, of course, and I'm getting rid of players that I really like can't see anymore in my team. And Nuri is injured, so let's start with the goalkeeper. It's not like I don't really think that Chelsea is incapable of keeping like at least one clean sheet in the next few game weeks. I just don't want to double up on Chelsea defense, just for the simple reason that I don't believe that they're going to be keeping all those clean sheets. And I'll select the replacement. They kept the clean sheet against Tottenham away from home, and I might be just doubling up on Bournemouth defense. Petrovic costs a little bit less, and the fixtures are great, so I'm getting him for Brighton, Newcastle, which is kind of dodgy, but then there's Leeds, and if you take a look at some other fixtures, it's going to be Fulham, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest, so I can expect like at least a few clean sheets, and obviously Man City and Villa might be difficult. Villa, you don't really know, maybe they'll keep a clean sheet away at Villa as well. Then there's West Ham, Sunderland, Everton, so by the time I'm getting another wild card, if I don't like Bournemouth goalkeepers, like if he's incapable of keeping clean sheets in these easy fixtures, I feel like I'm good, and I just don't really want to say goodbye to Chelsea defenders. So that's why Cucurella is one of those few players that are keeping their place in my team. I really enjoy him being so involved in the attacks, and I feel like in these fixtures he can cheekily get some defensive points. Maybe he can get defensive contribution points, that is, maybe a cheeky assist or a goal because he's so involved in the attacks, and maybe a cheeky clean sheet as well. Nuri, well, I really believed in Man City, and it feels like they have this rocky start, and I'm not sure if getting Man City players right now is a good idea, because there's Arsenal away, Man United at home. It could be a massacre, of course, but it's just the problem is that I don't want to pick a Man City defender, given that they're so leaky at the back. They just lost to Brighton, conceded 2 goals, and Nuri didn't really do anything for me. So he was good for the first game week, second game week, he picked up an injury, another injury for Nuri. So obviously it's a very popular pick. No wonder that I'm picking the Munoz is going to be my defender of choice. Crystal Palace, despite losing Eze, still look strong, and they're playing Sunderland out of all teams, and obviously some other fixtures include West Ham away. It's a nice turn of fixtures for Crystal Palace, and even before they managed to keep a few clean sheets here and there, and Munoz is capable, like he's pretty much playing a winger in a like a 3 at the back formation, like a wing back, but he's so involved, he takes shots. And you know what, some people actually I've seen on Twitter say they are captaining him for this game week. I may just go completely rogue differential and go with Munoz captain against Sunderland, you never know. And Pedro Porro, the thing with Pedro Porro, I don't mind Pedro Porro. I'm selling him, I'm not really earning anything of him because his price rose only once. But I feel like getting a cheaper defender from Tottenham could be a better idea, so I may keep him. It's just like I feel like in the previous game he was subbed a little bit earlier, and now that they have Xavi Simons and they have Kudus and they have so many players that can take free kicks and set pieces and corners, of course, it feels like Pedro Porro influence will be limited. I might just keep him for now, depending on if I will be able to afford him. And the next player that I'm getting is Virgil. He is a defensive points monster, and obviously I was a little bit skeptical about defensive points, and I realized that I was wrong, right? So even players from like the likes of Crystal Palace are capable of like scoring like 10, 12 points just by keeping a clean sheet, getting some bonus, and getting 2 defensive contribution points. And that's like a 10-pointer. And like my previous game week was so terrible, barely anyone even scored 10 points. So having that big at the back setup is not a bad idea. It will be a benching headache, but I don't mind it at all. And Diouf will become Senesi. So Senesi is definitely a defensive contributions monster, defense contribution points monster. And he can get a cheeky assist or a goal from a corner. That would be fantastic if it happens. It feels like, you know, I really rate the fixtures, and it feels like Bournemouth, despite losing some players like Zabarny, they still are a very strong team, and the fixtures are great. So I will keep him. So now, speaking of Kudus, I got him. I used a transfer to get him. Obviously, he didn't get anything for me. So I don't really mind getting rid of him right now, because of all the data you've seen probably previously, I've seen him being involved. He almost scored a goal. Like, it was supposed to be a red card on Trafford against Man City. They won. They won that game, and it just feels like Xavi Simons is going to be slotted in right away. And he's going to be playing that number 10 role that Madison used to play now that he is injured. And he can be on the set pieces as well, alongside with Kudus and maybe Pedro Porro too. So that can be cheeky differential for me, maybe a mistake. But again, Tottenham have good fixtures. They have Wolves. I need some representation in attack from Tottenham. Obviously, it would be nice to get Richarlison, but like my attack is stacked already. And Wirtz, like he can deliver against Burnley. I don't doubt that, but I feel like 8.4, given that Gakpo is cheaper and Gakpo feels like he is involved and feels like he is feeling it. So I will be getting Gakpo then. So Gakpo is my cover for Salah, because as you have guessed, I'm anti-Salah merchant right now. So Gakpo is a replacement for Wirtz. Now that they have signed Isak, it's going to be pretty competitive in attack. I don't know if Gakpo has like a real competition because Luis Diaz left, because he's playing on the left side. But I feel like even Ekitike or Isak, they can play there. I don't even know what's going to be happening. Maybe Wirtz can play there. But Gakpo feels like a player that... It may be a knee-jerk reaction, but I just don't really feel like Wirtz is getting the... It's just in terms of FPL option, he's not really him yet. Maybe a mistake. Reinders is a rare occasion where I'm not touching him, and Morgan Rogers, I just don't really... I know that they have great fixtures. I'm just like that. I just don't have patience. So I need someone from Everton, because it feels like Everton are just getting that great run of fixtures, and also it feels like they're on flying form. They're winning games after that underwhelming performance in the first game week. Like Liverpool, of course, Grealish will be benched. But then there's West Ham, and if you look at some of the fixtures, there are some decent teams that I would be playing Grealish. I mean, Ndiaye is better, but it feels like he's injured. I don't know if he's going to be playing. I just watched a little bit of highlights from Everton, and Grealish is just mostly assisting. But even then, he assists twice, he gets some bonus, that's 10 points. And there are so many other players that can be scoring those goals, right? There's Beto. There's a lot of midfielders, there's Ndiaye, and I just don't want to risk it, and I feel like Grealish is involved into attacks, and that's more than enough. And I mean, I know it's a little bit counterintuitive, because the same can be said about Kudus, and I've just yeeted him out of my team. And again, this wildcard is very knee-jerky, but at the same time it's differential, because not a lot of people are playing wildcard at this point of the season, and the idea is that, yeah, there will be some game weeks where wildcard will be actually even looking more juicier. But I will be saving my transfers for those change of fixtures, and I have no Arsenal players in my team. And like, I may just get a cheeky defender, and that would be most likely Timber, because of how of those monster hole potentials that he has. Even though Ben White is now recovered, I just feel like getting an Arsenal player right now, there is really no need to rush, because they're playing. I think they're playing Man City, or there's like a very tough fixture for them. So I'll be getting them a little bit later with the safe transfers. And Minte, I just don't really feel like Brighton are the team that we need to get players from. And Minte was very involved. He just like didn't deliver me any points. So that would be obviously Semenyo. So I'm tripling up on a team that I neglected at the start of the season, and I'm recognizing my mistake. I thought that after losing Zabarny and some other players. Semenyo is still such an aggressive attacking player. He's taking those shots, he's greedy, and when a midfielder scores a goal for you, get some bonus points. He scored 2 against Liverpool away from home. That's pretty impressive. So I feel like the fixtures for Bournemouth, we've talked about that before, they're good. So this is going to be a pretty big headache for me, benching headache. And I'm just fixing all of my mistakes, right? I've seen enough. I know that Wood is playing some easy fixtures as well, like Burnley and Sunderland, but I just don't really want to risk it because there are some fine strikers waiting to be added, and that is João Pedro, whom I neglected for the sole reason that I tripled up on Chelsea in a different way. Now that I am not doing that, I can do that and I will still have another spot for a Chelsea player. So João Pedro against Brentford, there can be some goals. Obviously, he's returning from the international break. They play against, was it Bolivia? So there's like very high altitude, very exhausting game. They actually lost that. And yes, his minutes can be limited against Brentford if the game is wrapped up by 60th minute. But there's Man United away, some goals will be there, I think, and Brighton at home. These are like some very, very juicy fixtures. And if João Pedro is playing whilst, I think Delap is injured, right? So Delap is injured and Mark Gui is the only like actual number 9. And look, getting rid of Chris Wood, I just don't really feel like I can trust Nottingham Forest. Like, how can you even lose 3-0 to West Ham out of all teams? And the reason why I picked him is because I remember the absolute massacre, like 7-0 against Brighton, where Nottingham Forest were like flying in a hot flying form. And I felt like it can repeat this season. It didn't happen. And the third striker for me would be another Palace player, and that would be Mateta. So Mateta is a penalty taker. I don't really have a lot of penalty takers in my team. It's Haaland, Mateta pretty much. But I feel like it's just like nice fixtures for Crystal Palace, that's it. Obviously, I'll need to bench them probably against Liverpool. I may still play them because Liverpool are leaking in defense. But this is a nice, diverse team where I'm only tripling up on Bournemouth just because of the fixtures. And there is a representation of each of the teams that have good fixtures. Let me know what you think about this wildcard. Like, I'm gonna be activating it right now because I feel like that's justified. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 7... 9, 10 changes in our team, and all of them, in my opinion, improve my team. Now I acknowledge that probably I will definitely miss my wildcard along the way, like in Gameweek 6 or 13, but I actually gonna be saving these transfers. Like 5 transfers is the goal. I don't want to make any changes right now unless there's injuries. I'm gonna be saving my transfers. This has been my wildcard. Let me know what you think of it, and I'll see you next time.